Wow, Dota. Why are you doing this? Okay, hello, welcome to the final of the first DelotA amateur tournament. This is going to be Imba Battlenet versus Intel. This is game one. I am bringing it to you live with my co-caster, Vague Raconteur, who again cannot hear me because I always forget to turn on my open mic, but now he can hear me. Hello, Vague.
Hello, and welcome to the final Enemy Intelligence versus Imba Battlenet. I cannot believe we've actually managed to get here.
Yep, it's pretty good. Especially with such good teams. I mean, Imba Battlenet and Enemy Intelligence have really proved that they really are fantastic teams, and whoever wins this match will quite easily give Team Infused a run for their money in the showcase.
Indeed, it just looks like they're going to start the bannings now. This is going to be quite an interesting match because normally Imba Battlenet go for some weird picks. We love that personally because we see kind of just crazy heroes come out to throw people out of the way. But Enemy Intelligence is someone that a team that doesn't really react to that. They tend to go with a much more to the meta style, provided that Moon doesn't get his way. And we see this kind of contrast of styles that should mean that we get this fantastic match.
Yeah, hopefully the contrasting styles will just make this match just a little bit better, and I really do hope that this goes to a best of three. I do like both of these teams, and I really like seeing them play. So as much action as possible would be amazing.
Well, the thing is, we can't know who's going to win. Both teams have just flown through the tournament. They've proven themselves time and time again. I don't think either team have actually lost once, and I don't know what is going to happen in terms of who's going to win. I'm thinking just this could go out to 70 minutes. But we have some pretty standard bans going on at the moment. Imba Battlenet going for the Undying, his insane support, especially with his Gravestone being ridiculous, and Keep the Lights Illuminate. We have seen Keeper pick so many times, and his damage is just out of this world. Enemy Intelligence is using him yesterday in the semi-final to prove just how effective he could be in a very, very attack-filled lane. Meanwhile, Enemy Intelligence banning Nick's Assassin, we know is scary. He's able to completely disable so many intelligent heroes. And except for the Magnus, and
there's no
no Magnus ban. My God, sorry, I've stopped talking. JD, you go on.
No, I was going to say no Magnus ban, but Imba Battlenet let it go straight through and pick Darkseer instead. So Enemy Intelligence are going to take the first ridiculously strong hero from mid, and they're going to pick up their Magnus to actually slip through the pool. And I don't think Enemy Intelligence were really expecting Magnus to get to them because they just snap picked him.
Well, I'm really surprised that Imba actually let that one slip, but especially considering the damage that they did versus MAC. They know how dangerous Magnus can be, but maybe they're not worried. Maybe they let it happen on purpose. These are two teams that know exactly what they're doing and are very, very good in the picking stage. But Shadow Demon plus Magnus, that reverse polarity, the cleave, it's going to be scary. I feel for Imba already. But they went for Darkseer. It's fantastic offlane. He's got the ability to just completely keep up in farm. We know Imba has that ability, so we're just looking at exactly what are they going to do in reaction to this Magnus. Are they probably going to pick up a TA, considering she's the best mid left? What do you think, JD?
More than likely they'll probably just go for TA now, seeing that the Magnus is out of the pool, and TA can have a really, really good time against Magnus, depending on how good your TA player is. But yeah, that Shadow Demon is, and they picked up the Rubik for the Magnus, so maybe that's why they let it go through the pool. They knew that they could pick up that Rubik straight away and maybe nick that reverse polarity. But the Magnus and the Shadow Demon could be a little bit of a problem. I mean, Soul Catcher coming on top of the reverse polarity, catching 3 or 4 of them can be a bit of a pain, and Imba Battlenet have really got to position themselves well so that they don't get caught out by this Magnus.
Well, then that's the beauty of having Darkseer and Rubik, because considering if Rubik could actually keep out reverse polarity and steal it, then they can create a very similar effect with Darkseer pulling everyone in and being able to vacuum down. Or even better, actually, if he couldn't steal reverse polarity, he could still possibly steal Soul Catcher from the Shadow Demon. The Darkseer could vacuum in, and then the Soul Catcher would still have that mass kind of just lowering everybody's defense against attacks, which would still be very useful. But reverse polarity, obviously the absolute ultimate we want to see stolen here.
Yeah, Imba Battlenet are really probably going to be looking for that, especially so early on. But there's no problem with just nicking any of Shadow Demon's spells, particularly apart from the poison. Shadow Demon all of his spells are just so ridiculously strong when it comes to supporting So the Rubik's a good pick, and they're going to pick Windrunner as well, like locking out their off lane ridiculously fast, and giving enemy intelligence to Bounty Hunter if they really want the Bounty Hunter, because he's obviously very, very strong at the moment. But Imba Battlenet like that Windrunner more. And also we've seen Windrunner being played so strong, so well, by enemy intelligence in this tournament that makes sense that they would pick that up. Gyrocopter being picked up by enemy intelligence, so he's probably going to be their main carry. He's a carry that a lot of teams have actually gone to recently, just because of he's really good against Sven, and he's particularly good at farming. I mean, he can really snowball out of control.
Indeed, he can. Gyrocopter going to be a big and obviously with Shadow Demon, his damage potential is huge. That ultimate does so much damage, especially the homing missile. They're going to have to find somebody that can really counter that homing missile in the lane, because it potential of 440 damage plus so much extra damage from Shadow Demon. What does it do? An extra 50% at full level, max with full level homing missile. I feel for Battlenet having to do that, but then again, they've got a Rubik that can steal this kind of stuff, and that is what is going to go so well. But considering Windrunner and Darkseer are both in the off lane, Jim, you reckon that Windrunner going to go on the off lane?
Maybe there is a distinct possibility that they might be putting the Darkseer up in mid against Magnus to just stop him getting any farm with the Ion Shell, and Darkseer is obviously quite survivable against Magnus as well, so maybe we're going to see that. But there's no reason why they couldn't put Windrunner on that tri-lane as a kind of carry farmer again, because that seemed to work out quite well for them last time, and if you can hit a shackle shot on a tri-lane, it's pretty much game over.
Oh, definitely, and now we have more bands from enemy intelligence and Imba Battlenet. Imba Battlenet have actually opted for banning out Anti-Hunter, so they don't have that offlane to contest with. And Lone Druid, again, another very strong offlane to not have to contend with. Meanwhile, enemy intelligence are a lot more focused on getting rid of Imba's carries, because they don't have a main carry yet. So Luna and Lifesteal have both been eliminated, two extremely successful carries in this tournament.
Yeah, especially that Lifestealer. He's just so ridiculously strong against Shadow Demon and Magnus that yeah, this is a nice little ban out by them. I can imagine they're probably going to take another carry actually for the next. They do have they do have second pick, so maybe they're going to be banning out the carries and just locking out the supports as soon as they get their 2 picks in a row. We'll have to see what they decide to do. But Imba Battlenet really banning out their strong offlane heroes, because they really don't want any offlane. They really want to win their offlane. With the Darkseer, they're banning out the Clinks, the Lone Druid, and the Bounty Hunter, 3 of the strongest offlane heroes in the game.
Indeed, but we have to notice that there's no Sven ban yet, and there is a Magnus, and there is a Rubik.
Yeah.
They've banned the Phantom Lancer, another great choice considering that he has done so well as well in this tournament. But if Imba Battlenet pick up a Sven and Rubik manages to steal the cleave from Magnus, imagine those cleaves. We have the potential for Imba Battlenet to completely use Rubik and use Magnus being picked to their own advantage, and this is the beauty of having a Rubik. Enemy intelligence might be a little bit worried about this, but it doesn't seem like it, because their focus was on banning Phantom Lancer, a very, very strong carry that's been used by both of these teams. So the interesting thing here is, who are Imba going to choose as their carry?
Yeah, well, we've seen that Windrunner picked up. They're going to go for Faceless Void, so Faceless Void will be the main carry. Him and Sven were the only 2 real contenders left. And as we said, enemy intelligence are now just going straight for their support heroes. So we're going to see a battle of a Void versus a Gyrocopter. And if it comes down to an equal farm, you have to say that the Void definitely has the better of that.
Oh, definitely. I mean, there's just the fact that Gyrocopter stays quite squishy throughout most of the game, and Faceless Void, his prods are ridiculous, not to mention that ultimate to be able to completely shut down somebody. Even if Magnus manages to land off the reverse polarity and everything else just soul catching, there's a great potential that Faceless Void might be able to survive that, pop back an ultimate and turn it all around. And God forbid if Imba Battlenet does for enemy intelligence.
Yeah, this is going to be extremely interesting. I really want to see what they decide to do with this Windrunner, especially. Maybe she's just going to be supporting the Faceless Void, and they've picked up the Chen, so they're definitely going to be running the Darkseer on their off lane and having the Chen in the jungle, just picking up some creeps and really pushing down. So the Chen, for the first time in this tournament, will be picked up, and there's the Queen of Pain for the off lane. So we've seen Imba Battlenet pick some bizarre picks in the past, but this time they're really just going for some standard picks, and this last pick, Chen, is particularly good.
Indeed, it's just going to be... It's actually quite surprising to see both teams sticking so closely to the meta, but maybe it's just a kind of play to make sure that enemy intelligence doesn't catch them out, as Imba are normally a bit out there. But both of them, I mean, they're determined to win this, but neither with them both a little bit unsure, and that is going to come in so handy. And as well, it's a good job that Nick Assassin's band, when we look at Imba Battlenet's team, all of them intelligence apart from Faceless Void.
Well, I believe Imba Battlenet are almost certainly going to be running that Darkseer in mid now, because we can see RR picking up the Windrunner, and RR normally handles the off lane, so I think we're going to be seeing a Windrunner versus a Queen of Pain on that off lane, and then the Darkseer is going to be running it in mid against Magnus. So this is going to be really interesting to see. I'm going to run it through
but I have to point out...
oh, okay.
Sorry, you go on.
I was just going to say, I'm just going to point out the go through the Radiant team, and then we'll switch over to you for the diary, and you can point out that which you wanted. So we're going to see Moon on the Magnus. We're going to see Imph on the Queen of Pain, who is actually going mid. So there's a little bit of a shake-up. Fuha is taking the Gyrocopter. We're going to see Latin will be taking, I can't actually pronounce his name, Lantison will be taking the Shadow Demon, and Vitun will be on the Jakiro.
Meanwhile, on the dial, we have MNT on the Faceless Void, we have Joker and Darkseer, RR on the Windrunner, and Duzar with the old name I love so much, and we have Infamous on the Rubik. And what I actually wanted to say was this: indeed, Moon is always Ian Tell's offlaner, so I can't imagine Magnus offlane. And I guess I was right, because, it is a bit interesting though. I would have preferred to see in I think kind of situation.
Yeah, I think the reason they've put Magnus on that offlane now is that last pick Chen really does mean that the tri lane 100% has to be on this safe lane, because you can't use Chen on an offlane on his own tri-v-tri. It just won't work. So now they know that they can put Moon wherever they want without the fear of him coming up against the tri lane. So nice little thinking actually by Ian Tell to do that, because I do imagine they were probably going to put the Magnus mid until that last pick.
The battle begins.
Indeed, it just keeps him a nice safe distance away and being able to farm. And if it's going to be against the Windrunner, who do you imagine will win this? I've never seen Magnus versus Windrunner before.
I would have to give it to Windrunner, just because she has a ridiculous amount of right-click damage at the beginning of the game, and Magnus probably won't even get near the creeps. Magnus does do a lot of damage with his Shockwave, but I don't think it's going to be enough to be able to hold back this Windrunner. I mean, Power Shot is just so much better nuke than Shockwave from Magnus.
Oh, definitely. We've seen both Aura and Moon are incredible offlaners. They almost never ever miss their creeps, so it's going to be really interesting to see Moon try and keep up that, especially with Aura's ability to harass. And just the general, both of them already going for harasses down bottom, but if we look up top, they're already just trying to get everything organised. There's a Gyrocopter, Puha, who handed Gyrocopter just yesterday, is being kind of on his own here, where everybody's just trolling around trying to get all their wards done, because they know this is going to be one heck of an aggressive try.
Yeah, it is. I think your mic's just playing up a little bit again, Vague. It's just crackling, and it's getting quite difficult to hear you. Is there any quick fix you have for that?
I believe it's something to do with the actual DelotA client. So, for example, you sound like you're cracking up as well, but in actual fact, during the stream, you're very clear. So maybe it's just anything on the connection.
Okay, it must be something to do with the DelotA client. That's a little bit of a shame. We're just seeing some really nice early warding coming out. The sentry wards being placed down by Ian Tell just to make sure they have complete rune dominance, and Rubik will be probably de-warding that now. And yeah, he's spotted the sentry, so the sentry will be taken down by the Rubik. And yeah, it's really just a kind of who's going to have the better of the tri lane at the moment, because even though they have this Chen, so they can really use him whenever they want, but the Chen really does mean that they're going to be getting a lot more levels in this tri lane than Ian Tell are.
Indeed, it is going to just have to be a simple case of who's going to win this tri lane, because we have Queen of Pain versus Darkseer. You can imagine that probably Queen of Pain, being a range, is going to be able to take out whoever's Iron Shield, unless it's one of her own creeps, which would be a good move. But ultimately, Queen of Pain will probably end up winning this. We have Windrunner versus Magnus, who it's just going to be reasonably uneventful. Magnus not being able to get that close, but he will skewer and shockwave as much as he can, I'm sure. But this tri lane, you've got a Chen. This is something that you don't often see. We know how aggressive he can be. We know the second got good at that micro. I mean, there've been tornado, rampages from a Chen using a Wild War Chief before, so you don't know what's going to happen.
Chen is ridiculously strong. I mean, he's pretty much two heroes in himself as soon as he has free reign over his jungle, and he really does just have complete free reign over this jungle. Really nice warding by Imba to make sure that he gets as much farm as he possibly needs. And Ian Tell aren't really having a great time on this tri-lane. You can see just from the last hits at the moment, even though Void really doesn't have many at all. He's sitting at 6-1. But Gyrocopter only sitting at 12. We've got Chen, who's actually on 18, so he's doing the best in the game at the moment on farm. And this Windrunner on 15 and 2 on the offlane is really having a good time against Magnus. As we said, what was going to happen? Magnus is just going to get harassed down. He's going to burn all of his mana so fast, and RR really is going to have the best of this lane.
Indeed, he's not doing a bad job though. 12 last hits on the nines. Again, it is a case of him having to keep up his mana. I'm sure that the second he's run out of clarities which would so easily be removed by RR, it just comes down to him not being able to harass enough, and RR having the harassing advantage there. He's already been power shotted to ridiculous levels. RR both clarities still. It's just going to be a case of RR completely dominating this lane eventually, unless he pulls out something amazing.
Yeah, the DelotA client's really not picking up sound very well at the moment. I might actually... Is there anything in your options that you could change, like the sound quality? Because it's having a little bit of a nightmare, I'm not going to lie.
Sorry, I don't know if that's any kind of improvement.
It does sound a little bit better, actually. It does sound a little bit better. But... yeah, as we were saying, this mid battle is going to be quite interesting as well, because as you see, they're both sitting on the same amount of last hits. Queen of Pain does have a few more denies. She's now picked up a few more last hits just because the creep wave was pushed. But Joker isn't actually doing as bad as you could imagine, especially with Darkseer on the offlane. But at top, they're jumping Chen. Here comes the stun from the Gyrocopter. Chen's almost certainly going to fall. The stun is going to be hitting him. Here comes the rocket, and the rocket will be getting the last hit on Chen. There's absolutely no way he's going to be surviving that. So the first blood does actually... Oh, but he pops the smoke! Really nice play by Vezuva. Really quick thinking, actually, popping the smoke as he saw the rocket coming, and the rocket completely misses him, and first blood doesn't go to Ian Tal. And that's a trick that I've actually never seen before, I'm going to have to admit.
Well, that's just genius play by Imba Battlenet. It's a great way to keep everyone alive. First blood still, it seems like it's going to go on forever because both teams are very cautious. That was a heck of a gank, and it actually looked so successful, but well, just great play there by Imba Battlenet being able to keep Chen alive.
Yeah, it was really, really good play by that Chen. He really did know exactly what he had to do to actually keep himself alive. And we look at the bottom, this Magnus has actually just gone straight down to try and dive Windrunner. He has reverse polarity up, but I don't think Moon's going to be able to get anything from it. So RR just keeps the harass on. But
indeed, and that Wimble just allows them to completely avoid that shockwave.
Yeah, RR is really having a nice time up here now, and it's starting to get a little bit more disparate than what it was before. I mean, Windrunner's sitting on 10 denies, and Magnus only has 2, so she's got a pretty huge level and XP advantage. And as you can see, Magnus is just patrolling around the jungle. He can't get anywhere near this tower, and RR is really controlling the lane well.
And both actually. We have a case of Queen of Pain just gone back to base to heal up because the Darkseer is actually managing to do quite a good job against him. He's managing to
watch this though.
He's managing to hold his own.
I have to say, watch this, because all of Ian Tell have now teleported to bottom lane. They really want to catch out MNT. The Magnus is here. He has the skewer and the ulti. He's going to pop the ulti almost any second, but no, they actually don't do anything, and MNT is going to survive. And Ian Tell just had a complete wasted gank. I don't know if they saw them coming or what, but now they've decided to walk into the jungle. They still don't know that Moon is here with the ultimate. They're going to catch out Infamous. Infamous is not going to be getting away from this. Void doesn't have his ultimate. He's just going to stand away and let him die. There's no chance of him saving them there. And the Chen also falls. The Chen was right beside him, so they get the first blood, Ian Tell, and a really, really nice gank by them. All of them going to the same spot at top and getting the kills that they needed. RR still, though, just farming on this bottom lane, now sitting at 39 and 15, so she's really taken a massive lead so far in this game, and she's really done well against this Magnus.
Well, Queen of Pain, I have to credit her. That was a really, really clever play. Actually used herself as bait, making sure that her blink was up so that she could get this Chen, make it look like Chen was going to die, actually managed to get Chen, and then just blink straight out of the way, leading everyone into the trees so that Ian Tell could get another kill.
Yeah, that was really, really nice play by Ian Tell. Nice coordination, and they have taken a very slight lead at the beginning over Imba, but you have to feel whether that double gank, because they didn't get the Faceless Void, was it worth them not having the farm for that entire time? I mean, RR is really getting as much farm as she wants, and now she can just easily keep this lane controlled, and Moon can't get anywhere near her, so she's pretty much lost. She's pretty much won this lane single-handedly now that Moon had to leave for a little bit, so we'll have to see if it works out, that little gank, but this Windrunner is really doing well.
She is indeed, and it looks like Infamous, Rubik is around, he looks like he's going to be stealing something from Magnus, because as we know, if he can steal absolutely anything from Magnus, they're all ridiculously insane skills, so anything adding to that arsenal will just help with the team fight.
They're going for the push. Chen has 2 Troll Warlords, so if Magnus gets caught out, Magnus is just straight up dead. Moon just hiding below the jungle. I think he did see them actually coming. They do have some wards up, so, but I don't think he's seen Chen. The teleports come in now, so they're going to try and defend this tower, but with 2 Troll Warlords and 4 skeletons, do they really have anything to defend this tower with? Chen is such an amazing pusher at the beginning of the game. And if he has good micro, he can quite easily turn a team fight just because he has 2 Troll Warlords, which are just absolutely insane.
That's just amazing that he managed to find
Watch
it.
the
It
Magnus.
looks like now, yeah, Veteran and INF is going to die now with a mass load of prods and a Windrunner power shot. Just goes straight through him, but Vitan actually managing to escape there. However, there's no way they're going to be able to save this tower. There's a Troll Warlord. Moon has come out, just tried to skewer to get people back, but there's no... Surely they won't be able to save this tower. Surely, with 2 Troll Warlords, they're so rare to get, but what Chen does, you can't save a tower.
Yeah, I think the Troll Warlords are actually dead now. They did actually manage to take them out, but I'm going to have to point to that shackle shot by RR on the Windrunner. That was absolutely insane. It actually managed to get the Queen of Pain and the Magnus, as Magnus was looking to try and pop that ulti, and as soon as the Queen of Pain was dead, there was no way Magnus could get his ulti off. The rest of the team had to back off, and that was just such fantastic play by RR on Windrunner.
Well, and that's what we were talking about before, with both teams able to play so well, both pulling a few tricks out of their sleeve. You know, we have no idea how this is going to go. We have very equal farm if we actually look at last hits and denies, different lanes doing different abilities, and both ending up actually with the order always being either just kind of going red, green, red, green, red, green. It's the most even match we've seen at 10 minutes in.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really pick these teams apart at the moment. I mean, there's only been 3 kills in the entire game after 10 minutes. Both teams are getting quite a nice amount of farm, but Gyrocopter is really taking control of the farm. Actually, he's the highest farmer in the game now, and he can, as we said, his snowball ability is much higher than Windrunner's at least, and higher than a Faceless Void. So Faceless Void really doesn't have any sort of resemblance of farm whatsoever. Only sitting on 21 last hits. He's one of the lowest farmers in the game. So that's really not where Imba wanted to be, but we know how good a Faceless Void can be, just catching up on farm, 1 or 2 good ultis, catching a team, and all the farm that he's missed can just quite easily be turned around.
Oh, definitely. He's one of those heroes that just manages to hide for the rest of the game. You think he's not doing that well, and all of a sudden, bam, he kills your entire team, and that is something that we have seen and seen and seen in almost every tournament, especially early game in this tournament here.
Yeah, and we can see two Chen creeps again walking down into mid and using the micro skills just to try and maybe push this tower because it's only on half HP, and if he can get those centaurs up by the tower, he actually decides just to back them off. But they could have had a little bit of a push. But Puyo is really marching ahead of everyone on Imba Battlenet's team, minus the Windrunner. But Windrunner with farm isn't really anything like a Gyrocopter with farm. I mean, she's building up a 4-star, so she's just going pure support as opposed to a more slightly carry build. So it's interesting to see what they've decided to do, because Void really isn't getting as much farm as he needs. He's only sitting at 25 last hits, and maybe he's going to have to go for a more streamlined build, and maybe a more mid-game build than a late game, because he's really not getting the farm. But they're actually catching out Infamous at bottom. Ian Tell are going to pick up another kill. The Shadow Demon actually gets it, not the Queen of Pain. Now they're just going to de-ward, but they caught the Rubik out again. Nice play by Ian Tell managing to do that, and they're really managing to hold Imba back, especially the Void, with the amount of farm.
Oh, definitely. And the thing is, both Windrunner and Gyrocopter staying at the top again so far. 65 last hits and around 29 each. But the thing is, Windrunner, again, as we said, is pure support. There's it's much better if we start to see this for Imba, if we start to see this forward again in a lot more farm, because the only thing that hero that can really carry them through this game is going to be Faces Void. We have a lot more carrying potential here from enemy intelligence with the Queen of Pain and Magnus, who isn't a total carry, but he is capable of taking down an entire team, and a gyrocopter. It's just looking a little bit in enemy intelligence favour, especially when they've got this farm advantage.
They're looking for a gank in mid on Joker. They've lined up just behind, waiting for him to step slightly out of position. It looks like they might actually just dive him now. The pings have come out. Here comes Shadow Demon. If he can catch him with the disruption, he's going to get him. But no, the surge gets popped and he manages to get away. So nice play by the Darkseer, running the right way exactly when he needed to, and he managed to get away from that one. As we see MNT just still farming the jungle, trying to get some resemblance of farm. I mean, he's really not got anything so far, and he's sitting at 33 and 4, 34 and 4 now. It's just nowhere near enough.
Well, both of them seem to be very, very cautious. Nobody really taking any big risks at the moment, and that's the real thing that's keeping it so defensive. But it looks like now Infamous might be going in to do anything. No, again, this kind of cautiousness. They don't go for telekinesis. Darkseid doesn't go for any kind of vacuum. It's just keeping each other as safe as possible to allow for a big kind of team fight to happen if it does.
Well, I really think that was probably the best choice. They really didn't want to be diving INF then, especially seeing that they didn't know where the Shadow Demon and the Jakiro were, and the last time they saw them, they were actually there. But look at Chen and Infamous, smoked up with two Centaur Khans and a Ursa Warrior all going bottom. They all really want to kill this Magnus, and we have the Void there as well, so they're trying to get this Void farmed up as much as possible by getting him a few kills. It looks like they might be picking up both, because here comes Shadow Demon as well. They have no idea that they're here. They're going around the back. This could be exactly what Imba Battlenet needed. Here we go. They've just jumped on the Magnus. Magnus has the reverse polarity. There goes the disruption to stop him. No sort of stun coming out from the Centaur Khans quite yet, but Magnus is going to fall quite easily. The Chen ulti gets popped to try and save MNT, but it doesn't look like he's going to get saved. It looks like Inf is going to get him. No, the shackle shot again saves his life. And are they going to be able to take out INF? No, they're not. The Faces Void managing to get away by the skin of his teeth by a really nice shackle shot. And look at Joker diving the tower to try and kill the Jakiro. He puts the wall up to get him, and they do get another kill, and now they can push into this tower and take it. That's exactly what Imba needed to get back into the game.
Radiant structures are fortified.
What a glorious way to get back into it. An absolute kind of 3-for-nothing fight there. It looked like Jakiro got away and it was so brilliant, but then just a power shot would have got him even if the wall didn't. And that is what is absolutely insane. But no, enemy intelligence do not want to give away a single tower. They're just porting instantly back in. No, absolutely no ground being able to get, especially with Chen trying to push so hard, but just not quite being able to get that bottom tower or that mid tower, but keeping them to health, but not much else.
Yeah, nice micro by Chen as well to manage to stun the gyrocopter as he arrived, so that they didn't get counter ganked with the Centaur Khan, and he managed to get them all away as well. So MNT is still not on a lot of farm. It looks like he might actually just be going for a Battle Fury. He's picked up his ring of health, so maybe he will be going for that soon. We'll have to watch and see. But yeah, it's really looking pretty good for both teams at the moment. You can't really say either team's ahead of the other, although Gyrocopter, the amount of farm he's getting is absolutely ridiculous. He hasn't died yet. He's got 1 assist. He's sitting on 94 last hits, so we're just the net worth really shows that he is quite far ahead of everyone else. He's sitting at 6k net worth as opposed to the 4.5, which is the highest for Imba, and that's the Windrunner.
Well, he's building a BKB. He's actually almost got everything now. I think the only thing he's looking for is an overclock, which is 400 gold away, which is nothing for him. But down at bottom, Imba Battlenet are going to finally take this tower. Vitin and Moon are here to try and stop them, but they just can't do it. Both Centaurs actually survived from Jen, and they've just managed to take that tower. The first tower taken in the game at 17 minutes in. This has been such a conservative game.
Yeah, it really has. Both teams are just kind of eyeing each other up at the moment, but this Gyrocopter, the longer that they wait, the more he's going to get farmed, and he can really take over the late game. As you said, he's almost got his BKB, and as soon as he gets his BKB, it's going to be a little bit of problem for Imba, because they really do rely on this Darkseer wall to try and shut him down and do a lot of damage, because his illusion is obviously very, very good.
Indeed, especially with Faceless Void having really no farm. He's got to bring of health now. He's probably trying to build up to a Battle Fury, but what can you do? He's just not had enough farm. He's catching up very, very slowly at 53 last hits now, but Gyrocopter has 101. He's almost, I'm sure he's already got his BKB. He's only 150 gold off of it. It would take about a minute to get that easily. The next creep wave that comes up is actually going through the jungle. Maybe he's going to try and come back to mid. Maybe he's going to try and catch up this Faceless Void, which it looks like he's searching for.
Yeah, and at bottom lane we actually have RR just having to try and run away from his life. Is he going to be able to get away? No, the disruption gets popped on him as the TP scroll get the shackle shot. There is the shackle shot, and the power shot gets used. He doesn't have his 4-staff anymore, so the blink will get the kill. And yeah, RR just getting caught out a little bit there by the Shadow Demon coming through the trees, and Queen of Pain pops the ulti to kill some creeps and get quite a lot of farm off of that. And she's really looking towards the scepter. She'll have 3 parts as soon as she goes to the shop, so she's not far off of it.
Well, it's not often you see a professional use his ultimate, a professional kind of team use their ultimate to actually farm creeps as Queen of Pain. But it is very effective, it's very, very fast. She's easily able to afford a point booster now. She's really not far, only about 1,000 extra gold off. Meanwhile, Gyrocopter doing the exact same kind of thing, just using his ultimate to push away the creeps, keep this mid tower, because they really don't want to give anything. Enemy intelligence are wanting map control, but they ultimately really want to get this Gyro as far as possible and leave it to the late game. And this is the problem. Imba need to win the push, because enemy intelligence late game's potential greatly outcarries theirs, provided that Void doesn't become ridiculously fed.
Yeah, and Void's getting a little bit more farm now, just sat on this solo lane. Still only sitting at 70 last hits, but it's a lot better than what he was doing earlier on in this match when he was really sitting on absolutely nothing. So Void's getting there. He's doing what he needs to do. He's picked up his Claymore now, so he's really going for that Battle Fury, and then he's going to head into the jungle and farm it up as much as possible. They're really relying on late game for the Void to outcarry the Gyrocopter.
Indeed, and it looks like something is brewing at mid, but we have almost all of enemy intelligence right here ready to go, as well as 4 of Imba Battlenet, but they're not actually going for anything. It looks like they're going to try and catch them out by doing some clever positioning. Darcy is going to pick up this invisibility rune. He's got it bottled. He's actually going to pop it, so something really should be happening soon.
Yeah, perhaps he's popped it, maybe just to scout out, because they have no idea where. Yeah, the pings are coming out on MNT now. They really do need to gank him, and they're all heading bottom now to try and get that gank, while Windrunner goes to try and stop the amount of farm that Puha is actually managing to get, because he's got quite a lot just sat at that top lane doing nothing. But nice warding by Imba lets MNT know that they're coming. He's just going to dig himself a little hole and teleport out, or just hang around for when the lane is safe again.
Well, Puha already has his Morbid Mask. He just picked up a TP scroll to be able to port whenever a battle starts. He's somebody who's been very, very prepared, and he's very good at Gyrocopter. He sticks to this build. He's going to pick up a Helm for Dominator. Eventually, he's probably going to pick up a Satanic if this game goes on the way it is. And he's completely capable of just keeping away. I doubt he's going to die anytime soon.
We actually see Magnus picking up the Blink Dagger now, so the Magnus has got the amount of farm he needed. He's picked up the Blink Dagger after about 20 minutes, which isn't particularly good, but it's not bad. I mean, they did need him to get some initiation skills, because he hasn't really been able to do anything at the moment.
Well, he hasn't done a bad job. His bid against Windrunner is not actually that far away, only about 20 creep last hits away, so it's not been abysmal considering how well Windrunner can cope against the Magnus. But now Vitten completely on his own in mid, as Imba Battlenet they have 3, Joker, Infamous and Vendusa just all around here, but again, Imba just staying very consistent. It's almost like a threat to enemy intelligence that something will happen, rather than actually moving on it, just gently pushing the tower a little bit down over time.
Yeah, and that's kind of what they need to do to get this Void farmed, because Void is having a nicer time now that he has a solo lane. So they're just keeping constant pressure on mid with this Rubik and this Darkseer, so that Iantel have to do something about it and just keep the lane pushed back. And we can see Void now almost has his Battle Fury after the atrocious start that he has, so he's really doing amazingly well now, sitting at 91 last hits. The Gyrocopter is sitting at 133, but because Void has decided to go for this go for this build. He's gonna be able to farm the creeps faster than this Gyrocopter, you have to feel. But they're just gonna dive Joker in the mid. Are they gonna get him? Really nice surge by him. Actually manages to get away from everything. They still might get him though, because there's almost no way he's gonna get away. He's so slow, and here comes the stun from the Gyrocopter. So it looks like Joker is gonna fall. Hand of God gets popped, but it's not gonna be enough. In come the Centaurs, only managing to stun INF. The skewer, the reverse polarity hits 2, and they're going to be taking them both out as well. Really nice play by Moon. That reverse polarity caught them out and absolutely decimated them.
Well, the funny thing is that Imba Battlenet actually went down. You had Rubik and Chen both going down there to try and catch out some enemy intelligence that they thought was in the jungle. It just went so horribly wrong. They got completely caught out. And the God was popped, revealing Chen to try and save this poor Joker, but there's just no. It ended up being the worst kind of play because it was just a misunderstanding that completely went in enemy intelligence favour.
Yeah, and that Magnus with Skewer and the reverse polarity really caught them off guard, and he managed to catch 2 particularly weak heroes, the Rubik and the Rubik and the Chen, and then they just dropped so ridiculously fast it was untrue. So they've really got to look out for that. That reverse polarity can be absolutely huge, and it hasn't got that long a cooldown for how amazing it is. I mean, it's only 110 seconds, so.
Oh, definitely. It's just a case of this kind of enemy intelligence now sticking very much. Both teams are trying to stick as close to each other as possible, especially after that last mishap that Imba Battlenet. Rubik managing to steal the shield breath. I'm pretty sure he was desperately hoping for the ice path.
They're going to get him.
They are going to actually take down Vita's the speed from Darkseer, as well as his vacuum anion shell, but he has actually been caught out now by Shadow Demon. Darkseer popped his ultimate to try and keep them away. He might actually escape this. He is about to have Surge back up, but he's just been hit by the homing missile. Pooh, however, has been trapped by his own illusions in the ward. He does get killed by the Darkseer, trapped by creeps and illusions, something he really should have been careful for. And RR are just going to take this advantage to try and push mid down as they have. They've only got him here. Moon has now come. Who is that porting in? It looks like Jakiro. Is it Jakiro? Yes, it is. Enzo is here, but he's just been vacuumed down. Jakiro trying to put down his ultimate to stop them, but it's not going to happen. Joker Windrunner and Joker together. The Iron Shell and just the prods managing to keep it. Meanwhile, Chen's Test of Faith being able to do some damage. And then we have Moon. He has been stuck as a shackle shot kept him down. This is a complete disaster for Moon. 4-0 from enemy intelligence. It's dying, and now they have this straight push to go down. Chen has a Troll Warlord and 2 Centaurs, so that they have the extra everything, the extra attack speed, helping push that tower as fast as possible, and they do not need it. This mid is going to go down. Disaster for enemy intelligence once more. As that was just not expected. The real disaster there being Pooha being stuck in between creeps and the illusions.
No, I think the thing that made that was that absolutely tremendous shackle shot from RR. 2 tremendous shackle shots, in fact. At the beginning, he did actually manage to latch the Gyrocopter with, I can't remember who it was originally. I believe it may have been the Jakiro, and they just died instantaneously. So the Gyrocopter was actually shackled when he thought he was caught in the illusions, and there was absolutely no way he was going to get away. And then he managed to catch the Queen of Pain and the Magnus, and that was the run that really helped them again, because as soon as that had happened, the Magnus and the Jakiro, when Jakiro ported back in, they managed to take out the Queen of Pain with that really nice micro from Chen, and there was nothing they could do. So the shackle shots were really the thing that made that fight for Imba Battlenet. Really, really nice play by RR again.
Forgive me for not seeing that shackle shot. However, it looks like Void is porting it, and he already has a Battle Fury. Everything is going to turn into his favour, but Infamous has been caught out as all of Germany intelligence just popped everything that they have on him. A few skewers and the shot even a skewer. It's just to really finish it all off. But Void is now farmed. 140 last hits. He's almost caught up to Gyrocopter. He's got his Battle Fury, and now it's just a case of him farming like no man's business. He's got 2,000 gold. Let's see what he does with it. I imagine he's going to pick up some kind of, crits soon enough, because the second a Void has crits, it's very, very painful for whoever's against him.
Yeah, as we were saying, one good fight for the Void and can really turn around the amount of farm and net worth that he has. I mean, he's still sitting like 1.3k behind behind the gyrocopter. But look at Windrunner's net worth now, actually the highest in the game, overtaking the gyrocopter after that fantastic fight that the Windrunner really did kind of make with those shackle shots that turned it around in Imba's favour and managed to get the 4-0. So it's actually looking a lot better for Imba now after their little bit of a dodgy start. They've actually pulled it right back, and this is turning into the game that we were expecting it to be. This is absolutely insane play from both teams so far.
Indeed, and it's just the fact that every single fight seems to go in one team's favour after the other. It's never consistent, and it's just a case of who's going to win a few matches, team fights consecutively, because this is the only way Imba or Enemy Intelligence are going to get the lead. They're both incredible teams. Both we've seen with some great play here. So it's just a case of catching the other team out and getting that winning team fight, maybe getting the winning initiator that will cause it all, because of this, with this kind of equality, it's coming down to whoever starts it will win it.
Oh yeah, definitely. And you have to feel that if Void can get even remotely close to Gyrocopter's farm, he's just going to be a complete house. I mean, he's building up his BKB now. He's got the Mithril Hammer and the Ogre Club, so he's going to have his BKB pretty soon. That's going to make him so ridiculously survivable. It looks like he might actually want to just harass down INF, keep him back now. He's just going to let the wave push and get all the farm. But yeah, this Void could really outcarry this Gyrocopter so hard if he gets any more farm than he's been getting.
And it's an absolutely fantastic pick, and the problem is, while they have a Magnus, while they have a Gyrocopter and a Queen of Pain, the Queen of Pain with burst damage against the BKB, especially against a Fed Void, just isn't going to be able to do anything. We have the Magnus, but even though reverse polarity effects through BKB, it only really gives a stun. It doesn't drag them in, meaning that no other kind of AoE can really be applied to MNT, and he's just going to be able to keep on farming and keep on whacking and whacking and whacking it. Enemy Intelligence. His farm is already going crazy. Enemy Intelligence are going to need to take him out as soon as possible and just start ramping up the game.
Yeah, definitely. But we should point out the Windrunner has now picked up her Hex after 29 minutes, so she does have the Cypher Vice, and that's going to make Gyrocopter a lot weaker to this Faceless Void, and it's really going to turn the it might even turn the tide in a battle. I mean, if this Magnus tries to skewer in instead of blinking, then the Windrunner is just going to catch him with the Scythe, and he's going to die before he can even use his ultimate. So the Cypher Vice a really nice pickup, and probably a needed pickup as well, because they do have a lot of carry potential on the on E-Intel's team with this Gyrocopter, and Queen of Pain obviously does a lot of damage, but being able to lock them both down with a Scythe is a very nice choice. And it looks like they might actually be going for a Roche. So they might just be going for a quick Roche attempt. They've smoked up and they've walked in. There are no sentries, so E-Intel have no idea that it's happening. You can see Viduva waiting on the top to try and see if E-Intel have any idea, but they really don't. They will be picking up Roshan, it seems. They still don't know. They're still not coming. Who are they going to give it to? It looks like they might be giving it to Void. Void's going to dive down there probably as soon as he's dead. Yep, he's dived down there now, so there we go. Void will be picking up the Aegis. He sold his pot, and there it is. And he's almost got his BKB as well. He's only 100 gold off the BKB, and he has the Aegis of the Immortal. So a team fight will just go so much in Imba's favour if they decide to go for one, and they are now, because Joker gets caught out by INF. Are we going to see the Void ulti? No, we're not. And the Magnus getting a really nice skewer on RR in the Chen, manages to take him out. Infamous also gets caught, and Imba just got caught out massively. The Void tries to get away. Really nice play by Void, actually. That's going to get him away. Really nice play by him. And that just did not go well for Imba at all. They got caught out. They all started moving in different directions as soon as the Roche went down. And that's really not what they wanted.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Well, it was such a brilliant execution of getting Roshan. It's just a shame for him that they managed to end up that badly. But the important thing is that their big carry Void did not get the kill, and that's the opposite of what Enemy Intelligence wanted. If Enemy Intelligence wants to take down anyone, it has to be this Void.
Yeah.
But they are going to get the push. They are going to push to tier 2 mid, and they are again pretty even on towers and everything. It's such an even battle.
Gyrocopter's now picked up his Eagle Song, so he's going to try and counter this Void by picking up a Butterfly. But you can imagine Void will probably know that, and as soon as he's got his BKB, he will start making his MKB, because he really does need to keep this Gyrocopter under control and manage to hit him as much as possible. And he can't be missing in that Chronosphere. That's not going to help his chances of killing anybody.
Indeed, it's interesting to see exactly after he's got this Butterfly, what is Gyrocopter going to try and do to counter this? Faceless Void is going to be his big problem. Enemy Intelligence obviously know that he's not going to be able to compare in terms of farm tear this Faceless Void in terms of actual carry potential. Tear this Faceless Void. So what is he going to try and do?
Yeah, it's gonna be a bit of a problem for this gyrocopter just to decide which way he actually goes. Maybe he's definitely going to get the butterfly, but after that, which way he goes is really entirely up to him. It really is his choice, and I expect he will be probably going for some sort of a crit, or maybe even something fun like a Divine Rapier.
Oh, I would not like him to pick up a Divine Rapier, especially against the Faceless Void. In this kind of situation, Divine Rapier might be the thing that completely loses the match. But we never know. If he's able to take down Faceless Void consistently with it, maybe he cops some invis. He's had some decent control over every single invis room, though no thing to do it. However, I'm just going to go back to top, as Imba Battlenet are going to be taking this top tower. We have Moon, we have we have even the Jakiro, and someone porting in very slowly, that is Queen of Pain. Everybody's already gone in, they do not want to lose this tower. Any intelligence have been racked up, and Imba Battlenet have been racked up by the Reverse Polarity, which has won them this team fight. As Joker goes down too, only the Void is up, but maybe the Void is all they need. He has got some farm. He's not going to be able to survive this, though, surely. He's popped his ultimate. He's going to pick up Jan, and he's going to pick up INF, but he hasn't been able to pick up this gyrocopter, who is miles away, who is actually backdooring as we speak, going down bottom. And MNT going to be able to survive this. INF definitely going to die, surely, but actually no, he's managed to blink away. Faceless Void going back to base to try and heal up as quickly as possible and stop Puha. But Puha playing it brilliantly. The enemy intelligence getting the absolute advantage. A 4-for-2 trade, and Gyro just being able to completely push this bottom tower down. He's probably going to take it. They've actually managed to fortify. Void is coming now as well as Rubik, so they just didn't manage to take it, but it's so close. Only 77 health. They're going to have to deny it, and then that gives Gyro free from next time against these barracks.
I think they're just going to leave the tower up. I mean, I don't think they're going to be denying it anytime soon. Denying base towers probably isn't the way they particularly want to go, because as you said, Gyro just gets a free run on the barracks. But the thing that turned that fight almost absolutely was that just insane Magnus reverse polarity catching 3, and then the big Queen of Pain ulti coming straight through the middle with the scepter, and it really did destroy all of Imba's team before they had any chance to react. They got caught out by the Magnus blink dagger, and it really didn't go their way again. So Intel now starting to come back into this game.
Oh, definitely. They've just completely turned it around. Gyrocopter's still massively in the lead. He's picked up his butterfly now. It'll be very interesting to see exactly where he goes next, but he just doesn't stop farming, and that's so important. He's going to have a huge farm advantage over Faceless Void to be able to outcarry him.
Yeah, he's sitting on 252 last hits versus 213 from Faceless Void, but just because of what's actually been happening, the net worth is pretty massively skewed in Gyrocopter's favour. He's got a 14.9k, so 15k as opposed to the 12 of Faceless Void. So he's sitting 3k up, which is an Eagle song. So that's nothing to be sniffed at. And Faceless Void really does have to try and pick up a few kills to get back the deficit that he's already got.
Well, Void has already gone for Mask of Madness, and that's going to really try and help him, maybe if he picks up crits going against Gyrocopter. But if he doesn't catch out everyone, that extra weakness means that everyone is just going to turn on him, and it's going to be a very, very big problem for him. His BKB, he can't keep popping it. Eventually it's going to go slower and slower. He knows homing missiles on him now. Gyrocopter is spotting him out, is trying to just harass him down, make him know that he's not safe down here to free farm.
Yeah, but we see the Faceless Void is actually pretty tanky already. Now that he has his BKB, he's quite resilient, so I don't think they're going to worry too much about that. And we can see that we have Roche back up in about 5 minutes, so maybe the teams are going to be looking to in about 4 minutes, sorry. So maybe they're going to be looking to go back to Roche pretty soon. Faceless Void still just farming up as much as he can, and so is the Gyrocopter. And apart from that, we can see a little bit of a support skirmish at top. But at this moment in time, the supports really aren't the things that. Really aren't the people that need to be ganked. They need to start ganking these carries and getting them out of the game.
Indeed, it's just a huge battle at the moment between Gyrocopter and
smoke at top.
Void, and the smoke.
We see all 5 of them. All 5 of them are going to get smoked, and they're going to come straight through the trees and actually jump Infamous. Infamous is not going to escape this. The Ice Path actually misses, but there's no way he's going to be getting away. Look at that Soul Catcher damage. That's absolutely insane. He dies so ridiculously fast, all 4 of them, and now they have free reign to push down yet another tower. So, Infamous getting caught out a little bit there. No, they didn't have the ward up, so they couldn't see them, and they were smoked up anyway, so it wouldn't have made much of a difference. But really nice play by Ian Tell to pick up yet another kill.
And I've got to point out that Magnus does actually have a refresher orb, so he has the potential to not only teamfight and blink out maybe after he's stunned everyone, but then just come back and do it all again.
So Magnus has gone for the normal build that you'd see on Magnus, Blink Dagger straight into a refresher orb, which is so vastly played in the pro scene whenever Magnus is picked up that you pretty much see nothing else, and there's no reason to. His ultimate is so ridiculous. If you can get a refresher orb and use it twice, then you've almost certainly won any team fight that you want to be in. But look at MNT at bottom. MNT actually taking the tower pretty much solo, forcing 3 of Ian Tell to react. The Ice Path doesn't catch him before he just teleports back home. They might actually spend a few seconds looking for him, but they're not going to find him in there. The Void's gone, and Void's going to continue farming. But really nice play by Void actually to manage to get that tower on half HP, farmed all the way up, stopped the push coming from Ian Tell at the top, and now we see a smoke gank actually coming out from Imba.
Well, it looks like they're planning to walk a little bit far down to everybody who's ported. Brilliant execution there by Imba Battlenet, just to be able to get everyone down, get them out of their normal position, and then know where everyone is so they can go for smoke gang. But of course, going back up to top means that they've got a very long way to go. They're probably going to lose sight of people, and I think it was a little bit short-sighted to just imagine that they're going to be able to still find them here.
I don't think. I think they're more looking for this tower actually than trying to catch anybody out. Per se, if they decide to just take this to turn on this tower, they could take it down ridiculously fast. The Void does have his Chronosphere up safe. It's all about the initiation. Who can initiate first? If Void initiates first, then Imba really do have a good part in the team fight. But if Moon can get that Blink Dagger in and initiate first, then you have to give it to Ian Tell, and they might actually catch out Chen. Chen just being a little bit sloppy in the woods. INF is definitely going to catch him. He's popped the silence. There's no way Chen is going to be able to survive the Soul Catcher, giving enough damage to take the kill, and now they mop up his creeps, and Chen getting caught in no man's land this time.
Absolutely. Imba Battlonet's just having a little bit of a problem with that Chen, is he just keeps getting caught out a few times. He's already died 5 times, as well as the Rubik. He's had a similar situation, and this is where enemy intelligence have just grouped up to try and face things, and it's gone very well in their favour so far. Every time that they're grouped, they tend to win these battle fights, where if one person keeps out, that's where Imba seems to get their advantage.
Yeah, we can see Void still just farming up. He's sitting at 2.2k, so maybe he's going to be looking towards getting a butterfly. But while that goes on, enemy intelligence are actually just taking the racks, and there's no way that Imba can stop them. Faces Void finally has his teleport scroll, but he keeps just pushing and forcing enemy intelligence to back off. But I don't think that was particularly worth it. INF getting caught out now by Faces Void. If he pops the Chrono, he's almost certainly going to get INF. INF will die to the Faces Void. He popped the Chrono to get him, but it's definitely worth it. Queen of Pain just buys straight back, but giving Faceless Void 3 kills at the moment is probably not what they want to do, although they did get the racks, which is particularly important for them. And now Roshan is back up, so we see Imba just walking around and just scouting him out, and they're going to be going straight for him.
Well, we have to point out the crazy thing that despite both of Gyrocopter and Faceless Void being such strong carries, they haven't actually managed. Oh, Imba Battlenet, enemy intelligence has now noticed that Imba Battlenet are at Roche.
This could go bad.
Enemy intelligence to turn it completely around. Puha has his BKB up. He had a Crystallis as well as some lifesteal and Butterfly. It looks like Infamous is going to be going down, and MNT has actually gone down. They haven't managed to clear Roche. He's on such low health. Doxy is going to try and finish it, but no. Puha might be dropping his Ring of Aquila. He is, to pick up Aegis of the Immortal. That couldn't have gone worse for Imba, as they accidentally gave it away. Puha did work it. Enemy Intelligence did work it out. Poor Imba Battlenet had to wait a minute for their Faceless Void to come back up, where then now it's just a case of enemy intelligence being completely able to push down mid, probably being able to take mid racks as well.
Well, Faceless Void does have the buyback ready if he needs to buy back and just get himself onto that lane and help, but that really didn't go well for Imba Battlenet. It looked like they were going to be taking Roche. I mean, Roche was not on a lot of HP by the time it had finished, but it just didn't work out for them. The amount of damage that Puha was doing, now he's got his Butterfly and his Crystallis, he absolutely destroyed Faceless Void. Faceless Void didn't have his ulti up because of that really, really nice silence by the Queen of Pain, actually, that were using the Orchid to stop it, and yeah, that team fight just could not have gone worse, and now it looks like they're going to be taking both the racks, and Imba really now have to play extremely well to get back into this.
Absolutely, it was just complete turnaround from enemy intelligence after such an even game. That kind of Roche fair, it's such a dangerous thing for teams to go for Roche, because if they succeed, it gives them a huge advantage, and if they don't, then look what happens. It gives the other team a prime chance at just completely taking out that other team, their enemies, and they've succeeded completely.
Yeah, they took not only Roshan, but the Aegis, and they took the Rax as well, and they managed to get the kill on the Void. So that almost could not have gone worse for Imba Battlenet. And to come back from this is really, really going to take something special. But I've seen it done, and if anybody can do it, it's Imba Battlenet. MNT now building up his Monkey King Bar, as we said that he probably would after he had his Battle Fury. So he really is just going to try and free farm as much as possible. He really needs to get that MKB up soon, or else Gyrocopter's just going to be dodging everything he can throw at him.
Well, Puha has Daedalus already. He has more than enough for a buyback as well as an Aegis, so he's got potentially just so much he can do with this now.
Yeah,
it looks like it's going to be all over for Imba. Unless they just manage to keep this away, it's going to be all come down to Imba needing to start a team fight, especially Void. We need to see Void coming in, getting a perfect Chronosphere, and taking out this Gyrocopter.
You have to watch this Magnus, though. Magnus is going to be the key player in this team fight. If Magnus can get a good ulti soon, then maybe. But really nice shackle shot from RR. Actually catches Puya, but they're not going to go onto it just because of the threat of the Magnus. He could come in at any time, and reverse polarity could turn this team fight in a matter of seconds. So they decide not to go for Puya. They just harass him down a little bit and then back off. And it looks like it's just going to be a little bit of a standoff at this tower. Void has decided that he's not really going to be playing much of a part in this. Just going to go back, farm, quell this wave, and now you can see that E and Tel are going to be making their move. They've seen Void is gone. Now they're going to come straight up the top to try and take this tower. INF actually blinks up. The Magnus is just waiting in the back. He gives the extra damage to Puya. Here they go. They've taken the tower, and they almost instantly kill them. A really nice Chronosphere by Void, and look at that damage. He's going to take out 2. No, he's not, because he don't catch Moon, and the reverse polarity goes straight through the BKB, and that could not have went worse for MNT. It looked like he was going to get at least a kill or 2, and then the Butterfly saving Gyrocopter. He had the Aegis anyway, but the Butterfly really was the thing, and the GGs are coming out, and it looks like Imba Battlenet will give up this first game, and it will go towards Ian Tell. So the first game of the final goes to enemy intelligence. Really nice slick play from them. They used the reverse polarity when they needed to, and they used it really well. And the farm that Gyrocopter got was just absolutely insane.
Indeed, we just have to credit everything to this Magnus to be able to